Hello, good morning students. How are you? Hope that today you all are fine and healthy. Now today we are going to cover the topic of grammar, that is affirmative, how to convert affirmative sentence to negative and vice versa. So are you ready students? Okay. So you already learned this topic earlier. It's only just to revise this topic because you already learned in standard 8, 9, 10, etc. So you are familiar with the topic, but just for the sake of revision, we are going to cover this topic once again in our online classes. So let's start with the topic, that is how to convert affirmative sentences into negative and vice versa. Now you all know what is the meaning of an affirmative sentence and what is the meaning of a negative sentence. A negative sentence means the presence of negative words such as no, never, not, nay, etc., etc. That is known as a negative sentence. While the affirmative sentence means the absence of negative words in a given sentence. So when there is no negative word in a given sentence, then we can term as it is an affirmative sentence. Now there are many ways are there by which we can transform or convert an affirmative sentence into a negative sentence and vice versa. For that, we have learned last time in our earlier classes about these methods. There are total 5 methods by which we can cover this particular topic, and there are some other techniques also by which we can transform them. Now today we are going to only learn the 2 methods, the first 2 methods, which are considered as one of the easiest methods and that you have also learned in your previous classes. Okay, so let's begin with the conversion or the transformation of affirmative sentences to the negative sentence. Now the very first one, as you can see here on the green board, there are 5 methods of converting affirmative to a negative sentence. The first method that we are going to learn is by adding the word not, N-O-T, not, before the actual word. For example, I have given here the example is he is a dull boy, he is a dull student. Now in this sentence there is no negative word. Yes or no? Can you say any negative word in this sentence? He is a dull student. So there is no negative word in this sentence. That means the sentence is given in affirmative. Or we can also say it is a positive sentence. Now the same sentence can be converted into a negative sentence by replacing the word dull opposite of that is clever. And just before that we have to use the word not. So this way we can turn an affirmative sentence into a negative one. The meaning should not change. Now remember one point, that whenever we are transforming any affirmative sentence into a negative one, the meaning should remain the same. But if your meaning changes, that means your answer is wrong. So in the first one, as I said, wherever you can apply opposite words, then you can use it, and just before that you add not. So this is the simplest form of transforming affirmative to negative sentence. Now we go on to the second method. This second method also you have also learned when you had learned the topic of degrees of comparison. Now degrees of comparison as a topic is a totally separate topic, but this also is one of the methods by which we can transform a positive sentence into a negative one. It means affirmative sentence into a negative one. Now let us see how we can transform it. Now here I have given method number 2 by using the degree of comparison method. Now the first one we will deal with A. Now the first one that we are going to do is with when two things are compared with each other. That you have learned in previous when you were doing with the degrees of comparison chapter or the topic of grammar. So when two things are compared, okay, for example these two dusters are there, okay. Now for example these two dusters, the one is taller, the one is shorter. So when two things, it can be a living thing, it can be a non-living thing, that is one method by which you can transform, and that you have learned also in degrees of comparison methods. Now the very simple example that I have given here is your pen is not so expensive as my pen. So here two pens are compared, my pen and your pen. Now the word expensive is an irregular adjective, so we just put before that more. Now since it is a negative sentence, we will convert it into a positive one by removing that not. So my answer, we replace my pen, we bring it in the first position, and your pen, it is in the first position, we will take it to the last position. So we interchange or we swap both the subjects, that is your pen and my pen. So my pen becomes here first, we bring it first here, my pen is more. I have used more here because it is an irregular adjective. So because of this reason I am putting more. Usually you know that we use ER and EST for changing the degree, comparison and superlative. But here since it is an irregular adjective, we use more. More expensive than your pen. So here the meaning is not changing, the meaning is the same. For example, how to check your answer, whether your answer is right or wrong. So that you just refer the question with your answer, automatically you will come to know whether your answer is correct or incorrect. My question was, your pen is not so expensive as my pen. That means my pen is more expensive than your pen. I have not changed the meaning. I have only changed the degree here. And I removed what? Not. And I made the sentence as a positive one. But using this method, the degree of comparison method, and that too, when two things are compared. Now we go on to the second one, that is B. In the same method, I am going to use the B one, group 1. Now in degrees of comparison, you have learned first one was where two things are compared, and the second one was group 1 and group 2. Here we don't include group 2. When we are dealing with degrees, the topic of degrees of comparison, there you can use group 2 also. But when you are transforming affirmative sentence to negative sentence, then you can only use group 1, and that too you can only use positive and superlative form. Here I have explained to you about the example, no other country in the world is as rich as America. Now the sentence is beginning with no, that is a negative word. So my sentence is negative. I am going to change it into affirmative. Now this one is an affirmative sentence, but I am using it in the superlative form. America is the richest country in the world. So likewise, I am changing the degree of comparison method only from group 1, not group 2. So remember that, don't confuse yourself when you are dealing with affirmative and negative sentences. But when you are using it in the degree form, there you can use both the methods. That is a totally different topic. Here only one method is given. So how we can convert it into affirmative to negative. So that way, no other contains, the word no itself is a negative word. So in that way, we can say that it is a negative sentence, and we have made it into negative sentence, that no other country in the world is as rich as America. And the superlative one, America is the richest country in the world. So here in this sentence there is no negative meaning, and it denotes that when there is no negative meaning, that it means it is an affirmative sentence. So for today, these two methods are enough. In the next session, we will continue with the other remaining two. So I hope you have understood it. In the next session, I will teach you the another three remaining parts of how the three remaining methods of how we can convert a affirmative sentence into a negative one. I hope you have understood that, and if you have any query, you can text me or you can contact me. Thank you. Have a nice day and see you.